Hi everybody, my name is Ralph Summerer and this is part 2 of my DIY Les Paul kit construction diary. As you can see, I have pre-assembled neck, pickups and body to see if and how everything fits together. I did have some minor issues that I'll explain later in the presentation. Construction started by my sanding very gently the surface of the body, first using 180 grit sandpaper, followed by 240 and finally 320 grit sandpaper. I then watered the surface of the body using warm water in order to raise the fibers, and then sanded everything back, first using 320 and finally 400 grit sandpaper. And now it's all very smooth and ready for staining. When I tried to assemble everything, I found that the neck didn't actually fit into the neck pocket. Despite both items having the same identification, it appears they have never actually been put together during manufacturing, so it required quite an amount of sanding to make everything fit. But now it sits quite nicely in the pocket. I also found this strange overhang where the fretboard doesn't actually sit on the surface of the guitar, but judging by the height of the neck pickup and incidentally also the construction manual, this appears to be by design, so that is that. When I tried to set the pickups in the body, they didn't actually fit, so I had to sand down the corners of the cavities quite a bit in order to make them fit. This is also true for the second pickup, but after having sanded the corners down, they fit now quite snugly in their respective cavities. I bought the guitar at a site called Gear for Music, where it is branded as a New Jersey type guitar, but it's a Les Paul type. Oh, never mind, the headstock. That still requires considerable work. It is quite a cheap guitar, but nonetheless it appears to come along quite nicely. I mean, there's the occasional defect here and there, but apart from that, looks all very nice. By the way, when I sanded the corners of the cavities, I actually managed to slip and make a dent in the surface, but a drop of water and later some sanding cured everything, so you can hardly see it anymore. Alright, that's about as far as I got. Next step will be staining of the guitar, but until then, my name is Ralph Summerer and thanks for watching.